Aloha and Tashi Delay from Kauai Tibetan Buddhist Dharma Center here on the island of Kauai. We present this class every Thursday night, 6 to 8 o'clock, and record it and put it on our website, kawaidharma.org. I'm Lama Tashi. We do this class in the Tibetan Buddhist tradition so that our Bharja brothers and sisters, not only here in Hawaii, but on the other islands and around the world, can have some training in the practice of the Sutra and Tantra tradition of Tibetan Buddhism, which was transmitted by Shakyamuni Buddha 2,600 years ago, and again by Padmasambhava and Lama Yeshe Sogyal, his consort, who propagated it in Tibet and other countries in the Himalayan region in the 7th and 8th century. And so tonight we're going to celebrate that by actually performing the Padmasambhava practice as taught to us by our lamas here in Hawaii. And the transmission of this was given to us at our Maui Dharma Center in 1979 by His Holiness the Karmapa. And when Karmapa gave this transmission, this empowerment to our centers in Honolulu and Maui, he inferred that he was exactly the same mindset as Guru Rinpoche, Padmasambhava. Also, we're going to do the Vajrasattva practice tonight, a purification of all our past life negative tendencies up to this life. Now, a lot of you have ordered this teaching book of Lama Rinpoche's through Amazon. It's called The Story of All of Us Simply Said. And when you order this, they limit you to 4 copies. So if you need more than that, you have to reorder or have others order for you. We printed 3,000 copies of this through our Honolulu Center, and they've been distributed quite rapidly. This book is about the Bodhisattva training, which we put this together over a period of about 20 or 30 years and refined it in this form for distribution through, as I mentioned before, Amazon at about $8 a copy. It's not something that you just read once and put down. It's to be used regularly and referred to whenever you need some information about your practice or some impetus to help enforce your practice. I'm going to read from page 78 of this book to answer a question about the Bardo state. They call it the Bardo of becoming, which is our next slide as practitioners. But all sentient beings enter that same Bardo, not just practitioners of the Bodhisattva training or of the Buddha. Sutra or tantric practices. Actually, this waking stage that we are in right now is a bardo. When you go to sleep, that's a bardo. The dream state, the dying state, leaving the body state, and entering the next life. But when you practice the Dharma, you create a 7th bardo, the bardo of meditating accomplishment. which is the purpose of all the practices that we do. And this class, I'm going to read this one page. The Bardo state of becoming, called the Sipai Bardo. We have only mentioned that the practice of the Vajrayana traditions are effective while we have our life in this precious human body. We should also be aware that this mind training, calming, and purification practices also create a tremendous opportunity for progress in the next Bardo state after we leave this state. That Bardo state is the interval between our bodies dying and our next rebirth. The teachings of the Bardo state come from the 8 ancient texts of the Buddha's teachings. They have been translated into many texts, and one of them is called the Great Liberation Through Hearing in the Bardo of Becoming. Another one that is quite common is called the Sutra text of the Tibetan Book of the Dead. In Vajrayana practice, the mind training is for refining the consciousness of the practitioner so that we develop enlightenment in one lifetime, as well as to give the mind the potential to recognize the opportunities that are available when the consciousness leaves this body upon the body's death. At the time of the death, by remembering our Dharma practice, it is possible to attain enlightenment and take birth in the pure lands of the Buddha, where there is no idea of a self or any emotional activity. This can be accomplished through meditative practice when doing sutra and tantra practice, establishing the present or a state of presence as this realization of pure enlightenment. If the mind can recognize its own true nature while it is in the present state of focus and awareness, that it will come to pass in the very first stage of the Bardo of becoming. When one dissolves into the radiant light of the term Buddha, that is simply realizing one's true nature as the essence of space and awareness together. The mind will then, without any problem, take birth in what is called the Pure Land of the Buddhas, where no emotional inclinations can arise because of our practice, accomplishment, and realization. And in that state, one is free of pain and suffering. And it is not the celestial realms of the gods and goddesses of the various religions of the planet today. That said, we established the motivation for doing these practices in the Sutra and Tantra tradition, as taught by all the lamas of all the lineages in the Tibetan tradition. It goes like this. We, in order to attain enlightenment for ourselves and limitless sentient beings, we now all together take refuge, offer prostrations, and other practices of the path of skillful means. And what this means is the first word, we. We're moving from the I, me, mine, you, and all these singular pronouns with the establishment of that word, we, that all the animals, humans, and spirits in the world are in this together. And this practice is a movement so that all of these sentient beings attain the state that they have innate, their nature, which is in sync or in synchronicity with the nature of the world around us, just as it is. Because everything that you sense or think about or imagine is this world. And it is beginningless, without a middle, and timeless. No beginning, middle, or end. And our consciousness is exactly the same way. And everything in this universe and every being in the universe is interconnected to each and every other one. Or as we say, to oneself. But more importantly, it functions appropriately to support our life and the life of all sentient beings without any judgment or emotional involvement. And that comes down to the simplicity of a mother creating a human being out of the elements that create the universe around it: earth, water, fire, air, and space. And in the process, the mother's unconditional love is activated by that birthing process. And that is the nature of all the theme of all the practices that we do. So everything to us is the mother principle. Then based on that, we take refuge with the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, which all Buddhists do that. But we, in the Tibetan tradition of Buddhism, we take refuge in the teacher and the teacher's body, speech, and mind of advice and training, and how it is presented with the peaceful and protector deities as examples of how to be in sync with the world around it. We go for refuge to all the lamas of the Tibetan tradition. We go for refuge to all the yidams, or the deities of the mandalas practice in this tradition. We go for refuge to all the Buddhas, those humans who have conquered their mind and gone beyond it in the human condition. We go for refuge to all this supreme Dharma of the Sutra and Tantric training. We go for refuge to all the noble Sanghas who teach these methods. And we go for refuge to all the Dakas and Dakinis who are the symbols of the protectors and defenders of our wisdom nature that we call the Dharma. All of these 6 refuges possess the energy and awareness of our mind's true nature. Then we practice entering into the Bodhisattva training to quickly attain, using that support and that motivation, the discovery of our awareness at a level that all of us have inside, that is based on what is called higher consciousness, or states of awareness that are not present in the relative mind and its judgmental nature, which is the nature of all animals, humans, and spirits on this planet. So the motivation is to be chanted in Sanskrit so that you convey with your speech to the spirits that inhabit your body, animals and so forth, and around you, to sentient beings, that we're all in this together. And we together will liberate ourselves and alleviate the pain and suffering of others. Dog dong go wa nam pe tha dong yam pe sem chang su chi je du ne shing she su ji che. Dog dong go wa nam pe tha dong yam pe sem chang dong che. Tu di ne jung te ji si chang chu ning po. Then we should chant the Tibetan refuge prayer in Sanskrit. Palden lama dampa nam la chaksu chiyo yedam chokor gilatso nam la chaksu chiyo Sanjay chon dende nam la chaksu chiyo dampe shur nam la chaksu chiyo Alpe gendu nam la chaksu chiyo Kawo kandro chokyo sume Shorishe ki shenda tempa nama chaksu chiyo. Then the Bodhisattva training prayer called Bodhicitta. Sanjay Chodam Choki Chodam Janchu Bardu Dagni Chapsu Chi. Nagi Jinso Jipe Sonam Vidrola Ensur Sanjay Drupa. Bodhicitta, Bodhisattva, mind of the Lama, is very simple. It is voidness, like space, as the true nature of not only your thoughts, but everything in the universe. The second bodhicitta is having compassion for infinite sentient beings that don't understand this. and how to use it to alleviate the pain and suffering and trauma that exists in their own situation, but also how to extend it to alleviate the pain and suffering and trauma of others. So those two bodhicittas are the basis of bodhisattva training, which has levels of development like school, grade school, high school, college. And as you take yourself through these levels with the advice of your Lama, you immediately start to liberate yourself. You immediately start to increase your well-being, your wealth, your good health. But most importantly, you start to understand more and more the we, and start to more and more take the I out of your program. And once the we is fully established, that's infinite. In uncountable sentient beings filling this universe. That's the we. And when you enter into infinite, you remove all the parameters, all the boundaries of dualistic fixation, subject-object dichotomy, perceiver and perceived, judgment and non-judgment. You start to remove the judgment call entirely. Because why? It doesn't work in we. So, the altruistic motivation, the refugee's prayer itself is actually a very extreme, unlimited form of practice. And just by, with the heartfelt chanting or the heartfelt saying of the refuge prayer, you can liberate yourself from almost any kind of obstacle, whether it's perpetrated towards you by others or of your own doing, karma. And when you practice the 6 bodhisattva trainings, they're already what you should be doing. That's what mothers teach their children, to be kind and considerate and generous. That's number 1. Number 2 is to act in a way that you do to others what you'd have them do to you. Be kind and considerate, but moral, ethical, and intelligent. Number 3, you have patience toward yourself, others, and the environment that has its own program. "24/7. You start to establish this as a way of being. And number 4 is diligence in those first 3 practices. And then with the guidance of the Lama, extend that to meditation using your imagination to do what the first 3 intend. And so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Meditation is number 5. And that meditation, or being able to focus, using the methods of Tibetan Buddhism, are all to establish you in a state of presence, where the past is gone and has no benefit to the present, and the future is gone because it hasn't happened yet. It doesn't exist. But most importantly, when you enter into the state of presence, that's a state of infinite ability, infinite potential. Why? Because the we is in place. And it starts with the altruistic motivation. It fulfills all the function of the 6 supports of shamanistic Lamaism. But most importantly, it deletes the I. It can't exist in we. So we practice generosity, morality, ethics, and good manners, diligence, patience, and meditative concentration. Now, when we come to this one of meditative concentration, it speeds the first 4 along, and it gets you very quickly into the 6th one, was how to understand your true nature, which is called insight, and with the guidance of the Lama, how to use that. So that the we is okay. We'll start with the practice of what supports us in our body. This loner body that our mother created for us. Out of the 5 elements. And the most important element for our support is air. In fact, it's so important that, having realized you have a precious human body, the second tenet is you don't know which comes first, the next breath or the next life. And you should keep that in mind. It will give you incentive to enter the we zone. That, and that you have karma, negative and positive inclinations you brought with you into this life, and what they do. And number 3, conditioned existence is not favorable because of the I. And it is always changing. This tolerance of physical, mental, and emotional and spiritual constant change is not favorable. That's conditioned existence. So we start with the breath by sitting with the back straight, head tilted, eyes open, mouth closed, hands in a comfortable position. Head slightly tilted forward. And bring our awareness, our focus to the breath. With the inhale, we visualize that air of the 5 elements, which supports us, sustains us, filling our lungs with white light. Immediately, the elemental nature energy pervades every cell in your body. You think of that as red light energy, your life support passing through you. Then you take those two breaths, the inhale, the white light, and the stabilizing breath, the middle breath, the red light, and exhale out your nose. The blue light of liberation, which is a symbol like the sky. Everything that's appropriate comes out of the sky and returns to the sky. So your blue light exhale is a liberating, symbolic, universal application of loving kindness. Inhale white light, fill your lungs. Red light energy pervading your body through every cell. These two breaths together become the exhale out your nose to space, to every being who is your life support. Every being is your life support. When you can do this three light breath, then take the time to do 7 or 21 of these breaths, according to your capability. Inhale. One. Two. Seven. $21. When you reach the 21st breath, or the 7th, if you stopped at the 7th, collect the three lights and imagine them to form a tiny point of powerful energy centered in the middle of your chest and create the heart chakra, which in Tibetan is called a tigli, in Sanskrit is called a bindu. And the moment you place this particle of pure light energy, think of it in the central channel of your life force, which runs from the head to your base of your torso. And once you do that, you have connected to the infinite light of boundless space. And that becomes the foundation. That energy, the mother principle of space, is the foundation of all the practice to bring nirvana and this drama world together. The drama world is called samsara. The place of emotional affliction. But by resting in space, this mother principle of space is the energy of light itself. It's all pervasive. It removes all darkness. And it has no complications, it doesn't have edges. It is a program of infinite potential. And with your practice, that potential produces infinitely okay results. Then move from this completely open, clear aspect of consciousness, space. Invent the particle in your heart chakra and expand it to a small sphere of clear light, smaller than your small fingernail. Then focus on that and expand it into one of the elements of the life-sustaining force of the middle breath, energy of either earth or water or fire or air or space, which exists simultaneously and in cohesion to keep us healthy. So we use these 5 elements in this healing practice based on the 3 lights of your body, speech, and mind. They're called the 3 wills by Lama Rinpoche in his book. And when you bring them together, they become extremely powerful. And that power is blended with our compassion for all beings and their interest in their well-being, but also in this frame of mind of loving kindness. Then that little sphere of clear light grows into one of the symbols you choose that you know you need more of today than the other 4, but the other 4 are coming along because they have each one their function in this same program of good health, our good health. And picking the water element, there seems to be an abundance of it through the climate program these days, dropping out of the sky here or there and everywhere inadvertently. It seems to be the subject of the human race's survival program. So that little sphere of clear light produces a blue sphere of light symboling about the size of your thumbnail, labeled water. Focus on that blue sphere. When you can see it clearly in your heart chakra, move it out in front and up before your eyes, 2 feet in front. Imagine and see it there. Then expand it in size to create a large sphere of healing energy around you, colored blue. Room size or whatever you feel comfortable with outside the reach of your arms extended. Then, having induced this healing energy into your physical form, share it by imagining it to grow in size to completely enclose an area 50 miles in diameter. Here on Kauai, we imagine the island of Kauai and some of the surrounding ocean inside the blue sphere. Then expand it in size to completely enclose Mother Earth, including her atmosphere of air. Then imagine it to grow in size to completely enclose the solar system. Extend it outward until it completely encloses our spiral disc-shaped galaxy. And then move beyond the boundaries of your conceptual mind and extend it to include the infinite light of boundless space. Relax, be present. No meditation. Having accomplished being okay in space with no boundary, no support, move from this infinite state of the mother by again inventing the blue sphere enclosing the galaxy, labeled water. Shrink it to just enclosing the solar system. Smaller to just enclose Mother Earth. Meditated on very much smaller, just enclosing the city, town, or island where you are meditating. Then take all of that energy program to its original blue sphere with you sitting inside. just as you are. And with this part of the meditation accomplished up to this point, you are starting to relax into the we program. Which is infinitely more appropriate then to end the practice, bring this blue sphere to its original small size in front of your eyes. Drop it to chest level and into your heart chakra. Condense it to a tiny particle of pure energy and blend that with the infinite light of space and relax, be present. And aware. This state of presence fits perfectly in the energy program of space. Then bring your awareness, which is always evolving, in front of your eyes and into your field of influence in the human condition. Then you bring your hands together and direct this energy dedicated to all sentient beings liberating themselves into the states of fulfillment and higher intelligence. This is part of the story of all of it. Why do we present the yogi Padmasambhava, who took birth in Kashmir in the 8th century, and with the guidance of his mother, proceeded to travel through all the countries from Afghanistan, Kashmir, Pakistan, India, across the Himalayas to an area now known as Bhutan. And when he reached that part of the Himalayan range, he received a message to come into Tibet by the king Chaisan Detsen. not just to introduce the Buddha's teachings, but to help with their survival. And so Padmasambhava accepted, went there, and took one of the king's consort and trained her to tame the harmful shamans that existed in Tibet at that time, who used their dark practices of animal and human sacrifice to propitiate the spirits, to bring the rain for their barley crop, so that they could survive the extremely harsh conditions of their 10-month winter. Shorten the story to it worked, and so Padmasambhava is the foundation of all of the Tibetan Buddhist practices in the Tantric tradition, and most of the Buddhist practices in the Sutra tradition. Some having been founded by the Buddha Shakyamuni and many other teachers in the Indian tradition. So when we practice Padmasambhava, on the cover of the Lama says, take the tanka of Padmasambhava, showing them in sexual union with their tongues touching, on the cover of the text, where we used to hide the deity or put the deity's picture inside and cover it with a clear film, which shows everything comes out of the clear nature of your mind. What this tantric couple accomplished has not gone away. They never left. Lamas, Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, they don't go anywhere. They don't go to heaven. They don't go to the hell realm. They don't take birth that way. They stay in the human condition to help alleviate the pain and suffering and bring humans to realize their true nature with their teachings. And in this presentation, this book is called The Shower of Blessings. The Guru Yoga, based on the 7-line prayer to Padmasambhava, in combination with an offering feast called the Gana Chakra or Tsok. So what did they do to overcome this horrible method of killing one's wives, children, horses, yaks, and other animals, to conjure up and propitiate the deities that are in charge of the weather, the rain, in this case, the rain? Because it's a kind thing to do. So of course they couldn't say no, because the whole Bodhisattva principle is based on kindness. A Buddha is a mature human being that can only be that way and respond to the requests of the humans like ourselves, who are ignorant, deluded. And because of this ignorance and delusion, suffer emotional afflictions in 84,000 different ways of pain and suffering. So this 7-line prayer by itself was directed by the medicine Buddha to alleviate sorcery, religions with people practicing those religions with harmful intentions, and any kind of antagonism or abuse from animals, humans, or spirits. And also to deal with the 5 emotional afflictions, which generate 84,000 different types of pain and suffering. So we're going to read this prayer in Sanskrit, which is the way we practice it. But it's equally effective to be chanted in one's native language. So first, the Sanskrit of the 7-line prayer of Guru Rinpoche, inviting him into our situation. The seed of the home is always the symbol of all the deities and all the lamas and all the Buddhas of infinite application of healing energy. Om, Om, Om. Om, 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 Om. 3 more times. Om, Om, Om. Om Orien Yogi Nubjak Sham Pema Gesor Don Pola Yajin Chugi Gojune Pema June Jesu God Cordu Condro Monto Cor Neki Jesu Dagju Ki Jingi Lobsher Jesu So Guru Pema Siddhi Om Orient Guru Kidu Sham Pema Gesor Dong Pola Yajin Jugi Guru Ne Pema June Jesu Ja Kordu Kondro Mampo Kor Keiki Jesu Dagju Ki Jingi Lobsher Jesu So Guru Padma Siddhi Om. On the northwest border of the country of Oregon, in the pollen heart of the lotus, you attain most marvelous and excellent accomplishment, or siddhi. Renowned as the lotus born, you are surrounded by an infinite retinue of dakinis. As I practice following in your footsteps, I pray you approach to confer your blessing. Om Guru Pema, bestow all accomplishments called siddhis upon me. As many times as you make this request to Padmasambhava. The power of your natural consciousness or awareness and the obstacles that will prevent you from realizing it start to disappear. Sometimes all at once. Other times, not so fast. But I can tell you that it works. Then we take that in this text, the power of that 7-line prayer and its ability to install kindness and alleviate pain and suffering. We invite the Lama that Padmasambhava trained to teach the Dharma in Tibet and overcome all the obstacles of the old way, the old tradition of the harmful bonpos. And not all the bonpos of the old tradition were harmful, but those that were disappeared. And so Yeshe Sogyal was the first Lama, a Tibetan woman. And never forget that the women hold the power. And dish it out to the men with life and support. So we say this prayer to her first in Sanskrit and then in English. Kyo kun ke yu cho yi kun zo mo. Ho ban kyo pe ma zhe jun shi shi. Go du chok so de jen kandro so. Yeshe soy gel shavla so wade. Dharmadhatu, Kunto Zangpo, mother of all victorious Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Kindness soul mother who protects the Tibetans and all people. Bestower of most excellent accomplishment and siddhi. Sovereign of all the dakinis of supreme bliss. Yeshe Sogyal, at your lotus feet, we pray. Confer your blessings which pacify inner, outer, and secret obstacles, and stabilize the longevity of our Lama Gurus. Confer your blessings which pacify this area of disease, hunger, warfare, poverty, environmental destruction, and the spread of toxins. Confer your blessing which pacifies sorcery, hexes, and curses. Confer your blessings which increase longevity, splendor, and transcendental knowledge. Confer your blessings which spontaneously accomplish all our appropriate wishes. Om Ahum Vajra Guru Padmasambhava Lama Yeshe Soya. Siddhi, which means accomplishment. Hum, infinite healing. Te, cut, ego, completely. Om Ahum Vajra Guru Padmasambhava Lama Yeshe Soya. Siddhi Om Te. Om Ahum Lama Vajra Guru Lama Yeshe Sogyal Siddhi Om Te. Now the mantra that it can be said with the Lama Yeshe Sogyal included. And when you do it that way, then this visualization of them in union, dressed in their silks and other adornments. Padmasambhava is using a vajra, holding a vajra in his right hand and a skull cup with an empowerment base called a bumpa in the other hand. And she is using, in her two hands, this trigu knife and a skull cup with their hands crossed behind Padmasambhava's head. And this is very similar to the way we visualize the practice of Vajrasattva and Vajrayogini, which is the way they taught the foundation practices, which greatly empower whatever deity yoga you're doing. For instance, here I placed the statue of the red Chenrezig in front of the deity. So this, the deity, the stupa, or any Buddha symbol, they're all the same. And they're generating compassion, power, insight, and kindness into your situation, into our situation. And to simplify the practice, Karmapa said, when he gave the empowerment in Honolulu, you can generate me as Guru Rinpoche with the mantra, Om Ahom Vajra Guru Padma Siddhi Ho. 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 Pema and Padma are the same. Padma is Sanskrit. Pema is that word in Tibetan Sanskrit. I have to stay lubricated, hydrated. Also, every once in a while, because of my lifestyle, I want you to excuse me for my yawn.
Wasn't new.
Which inadvertently arises in practice.
It wasn't new.
I know it wasn't me, but I know I do that. Abby says it wasn't you. Om Ahom Vajra Guru Padma Guru.
Om Ahom Vajra Guru Padma Siddhi Ho.
Om Ahom Vajra Guru Padma Siddhi Ho. Om Ahom Vajra Guru Padma Siddhi Ho. Vajra Guru Padma Siddhi Ho. Om Ahom 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 Vajra Guru Pema Siddhi Om Ahum Bhaja 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 Guru Pema Siddhi Om Ahum, the body, speech, and mind of all the bodhisattvas, Buddhas, and deities. Padma Sambhava Pema Siddhi means taking birth in the human condition. With this, to empower our body, speech, and mind to reach the same level of healing and awareness that they have. That is established in our stream of being. Om Ahum Bhaja Guru Pema Siddhi 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 Om Bhaja Guru Pema Siddhi Om Ahum Bhaja Guru Pema Siddhi Om Ahum Bhaja Guru Pema Siddhi Om. So Padmasambhava comes to you with the 32 major and 80 minor marks of a Buddha. Also with an infinite cloud of dakinis, as large as you wish to imagine them, either filling your area or your island, your planet, your solar system, your galaxy, or the entire universe, because the entire universe is the Dakini. Om Ahum is the infinite application of the Lama's body, speech, and mind into you, your stream of being, like water into water. Hum is the seed syllable. Om Ahum Bhaja Guru Pema Siddhi 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 Om Ahum Bhaja Guru Pema Siddhi. Om Orden Yugi Nub Sab Sa Pema Din Sodam Yazin Shugi Jugdurne Pema Junior Zezuka Kordu Kondro Mampo Kor Keiki Jesu Doctor. Jingi Luxur Jesu Zo Guru Padma Siddhi Om. Home on the northwest border of the country of Oregon, the pollen heart of the lotus. There you attain most marvelous and excellent accomplishment. Renowned as a lotus born in the human condition, you are surrounded by a vast retinue of dakinis. As I practice following in your footsteps, I pray you approach to confer your blessing. Om Guru Pema, bestow city and fulfill all appropriate wishes. Om Ahom Vajra Pema City. 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 Om Ahom to continue in the practice of this text, which Lama Rinchen, Lama Tenzin, Taisutsu Rinpoche, Kala Rinpoche, many teachers helped us put this together. We sound the syllable ah, which we associated at the practice of the breath with the energies of the elements, the middle breath, sustaining us. Every atom, every cell in our body. And that sound is ah. Sound the ah. Ah. Before me in the ordinary form is organic stainless lake Dharmakosha. Its profound depths are filled with the water of eight qualities. Within its center, in the stem of a jewel lotus with petals unfolded, appears Organ Dorje Chang, Padmasambhava, in whom all sources of refuge converge. Brilliant with the splendor of the 32 major and 80 minor marks of a Buddha, he is embracing Soigel, the mother consort. He holds a vajra in his right hand and a vase with a skull cup in his left. Exquisite in their silks and ornaments of jewels and bone, and within a vast expanse of five-colored light, they blaze in the majesty and blessings of the accomplishment of supreme bliss. In that state, oceans of the three roots gather like clouds as their retinue. All the lamas, deities, and protectors are their mandala. And they gaze upon me, bringing down a shower of blessings and altruistic compassion and kindness. To this form of deathless, pristine awareness, which is the essence of all victorious one, I forever offer prostrations with the faith and intense and powerful yearning to attain realization in this lifetime. My body, wealth, and enjoyments, and all virtue that I gather in the 3 times, I offer all of this in the manner of Samantra Bhagavad, infinite clouds of offering. I confess without exception all harmful action and failings accumulated through 3 times without beginning. Of all the qualities of the victorious ones and their sons and daughters, you are the sovereign Lord. Lord Protector, in your example, I rejoice from my heart. To you I pray with faith, beseeching you to bring down a great rain of profound and vast Dharma, and amassing all virtuous qualities of my own and others, we will, for as long as countless rounds of beings continue, follow in the wake of your example, Lord Protector. We dedicate all of this to the guidance of beings throughout space. O great treasure of wisdom and unconditional love, in whom all sources of refuge converge, most excellent and precious refuge, which we accept as help and guidance in these corrupt and evil times. We are afflicted by the spread of the 5 degenerate emotional conflictions. We now pray to you with great longing. We call your children with love. Summon forth the dynamic compassion and the vastness of your enlightened intent, and grant your blessings to my devoted heart. I pray swiftly show signs of indications of achievement. Please confer the most excellent and ordinary cities right now in this place today, whom on the northwest border of the country of Oregon, on the pollen heart of the lotus, marvelous in the perfection of your attainment, you are known as the lotus born, and are surrounded by a infinite retinue of Dakini. By following in your footsteps, I pray you come to confer your blessing. Guru Pema Siddhi Om. Om Aho Vajra 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 Guru Pema Siddhi Om. Aho Vajra Guru Pema Siddhi Om. Om 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 Vajra Guru Pema Siddhi Om Vajra Guru Pema Siddhi Om Guru Pema Siddhi Om Vajra 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 Guru Padma 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 Siddhi Om. When you do the Tsok offering, you offer two substances: alcohol, any kind of liquor, beer, alcohol, in a clean glass or container, and any kind of meat on a clean little plate. And put these two in front of the tanka of the deity, Padmasambhava, Yeshe Sarga, or on your shrine. Light a candle, offer incense, flowers, perfume, and any other kind of food that you want to partake of. But the alcohol and meat, the first two substances, those are for the offering to the deity and the spirits that inhabit your place, your body, your house, your property, your city, your town. And that meat is a blood offering that they can partake of to be your friend. And the alcohol symbolizes your clear nature, your bliss nature offered to all the Buddhas, all the Bodhisattvas, all the protected, and all the peaceful deities, the three roots. Then chant this prayer. And from a skull cup equal to Dharma Dhatu, the infinite light of the Bodhisattva trading field of this universe space. And from Om, all the sense pleasures of this world of phenomenal experience, arranged within the offerings of this Kana chakra or Tsok. And with the sound Hum, they become the play of pristine wisdom of supreme bliss, which accomplishes all appropriate undertakings and wishes. And then you generate the sound Hri, that these hosts of deities you link together with the three roots are delighted and fulfilled by this simple sense offering of alcohol and meat and whatever other food you wish to partake of. in the Tsok. Then you consecrate whatever you have presented with the sound Om Ah Om Ri 3 times. Om Ah Om Ri. Om Ah Om Ri. Om Ah Om Ri. Then you chant the 7-line prayer. Om, on the northwest border of the country of Oregon, on the pollen heart of the lotus, you will attain most excellent and perfect city, renowned as the lotus born. You and your consort are surrounded by a vast retinue of dakins. As I practice in following in your footsteps, we invite you to this feast of sense pleasure. I pray you approach to confer your blessing. Send your blessings to this excellent place and transform this Tsok offering into the Amrita of pristine awareness as the bliss nature of our own state of indwelling heart, kindness. Also bestow the 4 empowerments on me as one who aspires to the most excellent attainment, and please dispel all obstacles such as hindrances and anything that would lead us astray from our practice. Grant all the most excellent ordinary cities right now to this group in this place. Om Om Vajra Guru Padma Siddhi Om Do Trang Sel Vajra Samaya Sarva Siddhi Paula Om 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 Vajra Guru Padma Siddhi Om Do Trang Sel Vajra Samaya Sarva Siddhi Paula Om Om Ahom Vajra Guru Padma Siddhi Om Do Trang Sel Vajra Samaya Sarva Siddhi Za Pala Hom Hom Mama Jetson Pema To Trang Sel, together with your host of knowledge holders in Dakini, to this mandala of all the victorious ones in whom all the three roots converge. I pray with devotion and intense yearning. May the 3 doors gather virtue and enjoyments of whatever is appropriate in wealth and good health, and also for those of others. This world of phenomenal experience is in all manner of delight and sense pleasure, with nothing incomplete. We make this offering. As we offering this in Samantra Bhaga's infinite offerings feast as a state of supreme bliss, may this enter into our hearts based on loving kindness and be offered with delight to all who take pleasure in this feast. May it fulfill our sacred bond. Guru Rinpoche, I beseech you. Fulfill the sacred bond of supreme bliss and equanimity. We pray, grant your most excellent ordinary city. Then you would take, at this point, you would take whatever food besides the initial shrine offering of the meat and alcohol, and quietly, without any talking in your group, eat the Tsok. At the end of the Tsok, take a little bit of each of the offerings and put them on a plate on the shrine. And this is to go, after you make this offering prayer, take it off the shrine and take it outside and place it in a clean place on the dish that you take it out in. And say this prayer. Om Om. Arrogant hosts who get these excess offerings, gather like clouds. Eat, eat, eat ravenously. Eat these excess offerings, laced with flesh and blood. According to your original promise, devour this food as a protection against our enemies of the doctrine and those with broken samaya. Show signs and omens quickly that you are helping them. Repel the obstacles to accomplishment. Complete your enlightened activities without impediment. The Susha Balinkta Kahi is the closing mantra. So I included the Tsok offering in a short form tonight, so that we can do a little bit of the practice of Vajrasattva and Vajrayogini. And then at the end of that, we'll make the dedication prayer. Visualize Vajrayogini and Vajrasattva from a bell and dorje and a mom and a hung above your head, blue in color. The mantra is summoned and appears as 100 syllables connecting these two deities. The mom and the hung enter their heart chakras, and the Vajra and bell become their physical appearance. As Tara and Chenrezig in the Vajra, the mirror-like wisdom of the Buddha field of Aksobhaya. As you sound the mantra, they fill with light. The light descends from their place of union, enters into you, and purifies all negative tendencies, blockages, obstacles inside your body, and pushes them all out through the pores and orifices, and they become like sludge into the earth under you as food and nectar for the animals and humans in the earth, infinite in number. Visualize like this and sound the 100-syllable mantra. Om Vajrayogini, Vajrasattva Samaya, Manopalaya, Vajrasattva Denopa, Tiktatido Me Bhava, Sutokayo Me Bhava, Supokayo Me Bhava, Anurakto Me Bhava, Sarva Siddhi Memchayasa, Sarva Karma Susame, Sitsam Shriya Guru Hom, Ha 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 Ho, Bhagawan, Sarva Tathagata, Vajramame Musa, Vajrabawa, Mahasamaya Sattva, Ah. Om Vajrayogini, Vajrasattva Samaya, Manopavaya, Vajrasattva Denopa, Jita Me Bhava, Sutokayo Me Bhava, Suboka Me Bhava, Honorato Me Bhava, Sarva Siddhi Mantrayasa, Sarva Karma Susami, System Shriya Guru Hom, Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sarva Tathaga, Vajramame Musa, Vajrabhava, Mahasamaya Sattva, Om Vajrayogini, Vajrasattva Samaya, Manopalaya, Vajrasattva Denopa, Tiktatido Me Bhava, Sutokayo Me Bhava, Supokayo Me Bhava, Anurakto Me Bhava, Sarva Siddhi Mantrayasa, Sarva Karma Susame, System Shriya Guru Hom, Ha 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 Ha, Ho, Bhagawan, Sarvata Gata, Vajramame Mansa, Vajra, Mama Samaya Safa, Om Vajra Venu, Vajra Safa Samaya, Mana Bhavaya, Vajra Safa Dinova, Tita Jito Meva, Suto Kayo Meva, Supa Kayo Meva, Anarato Meva, Sarva Siddhi Mentoyas, Sarva Karma Susame, System Shriya Kuma, Ha 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 ho Bhagawan, Sarva Tata Gata, Vajramami Mansa, Vajra Samaya Safa Om, Vajravini Vajra Safa Samaya, Manupalaya, Vajra Safa Jidoka, Nika Jido Mega Om, Shuto Kayo Mega Om, Supo Kayo Mega Om, Anu Vakta Mega Om, Sarva Siddhi Mentrayasa, Sarva Karma Susame, System Shri Akuru, Ha 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 ha. Sarva Tata Gata Vajramami Mansa Vajra Samaya Sapa Om Vajravini Vajra Sapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajra Sapa Dinova Itajido Mebawa Sutokayo Mebawa Chupokayo Mebawa Anuraka Mebawa Sarvasi Memtra Yasa Sawa Karma Sutra Me Satsam Shaya Kuru Ha 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 ho Bhagawan Sarvata Gata Vajramami Vajra Mahasamaya Sapa Om Vajravini Vajra Sapa Samaya Manapalaya Vajra Sapa Dinova Tiksu Jiga Mevawa Sutokaya Mevawa Subokaya Mevawa Anurato Mevawa Sarva Siddhi Natayas Sarva Karma Susame Susam Shriya Guru Om Bhagavan Sarva Tata Gata Vajramami Mansa Vajra Mahasamaya Sapa Om Vajravini Vajra Sapa Samaya Manapalaya Vajra Sapa Dinova Tita Jido Mevawa Sutokayo Mevawa Supokayo Mevawa Anurato Mevawa Sarva Siddhi Mentraya Sarva Karma Susame System Shriya Guru Ha 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 ho Bhagawan Sarva Tattva Vajramami Mansa Vajra Mahasamaya Sapa Om Vajravini Vajra Sapa Samaya Manapalaya Vajra Sapa Dinova Tisa Jido Mevawa Sutokayo Mevawa Supokayo Mevawa Anuracto Mevawa Sarva Siddhi Mentrayas Sarva Karma Susame System Shri Guru Ha 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 ho Bhagawan Sarva Tathagata Vajramami Mansa Vajra Samaya Sapa Om Vajravini Vajra Sapa Samaya Manupamaya Vajra Sapa Dinova Sita Jido Mevawa Sudokaya Mevawa Supokaya Mevawa Anurato Mevawa Sarva Siddhi Dantayasa Sarva Karma Susame System Shriya Guru Ha 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 Sarva Tata Gata Vajramami Mansa Vajra Mahasamaya Sapa Om Vajravini Vajra Sapa Samaya Manapalaya Vajra Sapa Tenova Tikta Jido Meva Sutokayo Mevawa Supokayo Mevawa Anuracto Mevawa Sarva Siddhi Mentrayasa Sarva Karma Susame System Shri Guru Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Vajramami Vajra Mahasamaya Sata Then Vajravini Vajra Sapa blue in color with the mom and the home in their heart centers blends into you. You become Vajrasapa, Vajravini. Say the short mantra as many times as you say the healing mantra of Vajrasattva. Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrayogini, Vajrasattva, Om Hum, 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 Om Vajrayogini, Vajrasattva, Om. And all the sentient beings of the 6 realms of Vajrasattva, Vajrayogini, in union, same as you, saying this mantra. Om Vajrayogini, Vajrasattva, Om Hum. 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 Om Vajrayogini, Vajrasattva. Om Vajrayogini, Vajrasattva, Om Hum. 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 Okay. In all 6 realms is this mandala of Vajrayogini and Vajrasattva disappear into the heart center of Aksabhaya Buddha, the Buddha of mirror-like wisdom. And Vajrasattva, Vajrayogini disappear into Vajrasattva, and Vajrasattva disappears into the home in his heart center. All sentient beings into the home in Vajrasattva's heart center. He is blue in color, and the hand's position is the right hand palm down on the right knee, and the left hand resting in the lap in the meditation posture. Then you enter into the state of mirror-like wisdom as all-encompassing bliss. Be present, open, clear, naked, and vividly aware. In this accomplishment stage of the deity, Mahāti is simply the state of being present and fine-tuning it so that the past can't exist even a second ago, and the future hasn't happened. While in this state of supreme bliss, connecting to this present state of timeless awareness, with your inhale, imagine all the dark energy on the planet today into your heart center and disappears into the voidness of space. You immediately exhale white light as the antidote that infinite healing and well-being takes place. For you and every sentient being in the universe. Inhale the black energies of others into your heart center, disappear it immediately, white light with your exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Make no judgment in either direction or about where it disappeared. Inhale, black light, negative, anything negative, harmful, unhealthy, abusive, disappear. Immediately, white light out your nose. Everything okay. Do this anytime you feel contaminated or your practice is threatened. From that state of perfect awareness in the present, which doesn't exist. Then we dedicate the virtue of this practice tonight to the benefit of all beings, all our Vajra brothers and sisters, all our friends, relatives, lovers, pets, enemies, everyone in, on, and around this lovely planet, Mother Earth. And then outward to the infinite beings filling boundless space. Ewadi nurdur da, shagya champa jugyer nek, choho chinking malu pa, dei sanla goparsho, sanje kusur membai jim la da, choni megur jimbai jim la da, hindu me je dumbai jim la ki, chitar oma mona jupar shu. By this virtue, having realized Mahamudra, may I quickly establish all beings without a single exception left out. With the blessings of the three kayas of the Buddha being accomplished, with the blessing of the truth of this Dharma being unchanging, by the blessing of the wishes of the Sangha, that's us, being unwavering, may this dedication prayer be fulfilled. And may all the lamas have long life, good health, happiness, and prosperity, and may all their wishes be fulfilled. May all beings be happy, free of suffering, and through our practice, established in bliss and equanimity. Mahalo, Juchite, thank you.